Welcome to the Thursday drivers' press conference ahead of this weekend's Japanese Grand Prix. Joining us from left to right, we have Daniel Ricciardo, Felipe Massa and Lance Stroll. Felipe, if we can start with you, let's start by talking about your future. This time last year, you knew what you were going to be doing, or indeed not doing, in 2017. Yet there seems to be some
So I didn't know anything last year.
You didn't know anything this time last year?
But what I decided didn't happen, so...
Well, you weren't going to be racing in Formula One. That was the plan. And yet there seems to be some uncertainty now. Where are you at in your head? How much do you want to stay in Formula One? How much do you want to stay at Williams?
To be honest, in my head, I'm pretty relaxed. So I'm enjoying and trying to do the best I can in the last races this year. And I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I'm quite relaxed. I know what I'm quite keen to do maybe another season. I think I can do in a great way. I can give a lot to the team, like I did already. And I think maybe I can do another year, but I don't decide, so the team decides. And I'm pretty relaxed, trying to enjoy the races, trying to do the best I can in the car, trying to give the best to the team, and that's the most important thing. So, and I'm talking with the team definitely for next year, and we are in discussion. So everything has some directions around. So I have my direction as well to follow, like a professional driver, like I was always in my career in Formula One, and I'm really happy for that. And that's the way it is, and definitely I can do a good effort for the team, but we need to find a good solution to carry on in the right way that everybody's happy. So, but anyway, I'm quite relaxed, and I definitely gave a lot to the team, to Formula One as well. So if people is happy that I stay, and I will do everything I can to stay on the top level. But anyway, I'm quite relaxed and trying to do my job in the right way in the last races, and we see what's going to happen.
When do you need to know by? Have you given the team a deadline?
Well, we don't have a deadline. Definitely, I think it will be good for the team and also for myself that we know what's going to happen maybe before the race in Brazil. We see if this will be possible, but I really hope so.
Well, turning to matters on track now, you hold the pole position record here at Suzuka for your Q3 time in 2006. Just tell us a little bit about what's the secret of stitching together a good lap here, and indeed, is there any advice you can give a rookie like your teammate Lance Stroll?
Yeah, I remember it was 2006. It was around 29.5 lap time, which is pretty amazing. Long time ago, for sure many things changed from that time to now. And if you see also that the car that we race now is like 100 and something kilos heavier than how it was the car in 2006. But maybe this year it can change. Maybe this year we can see some record, I think, around this track. And I'm sure it will be great to drive the car we have this year in this track, which is definitely one of the best tracks in Formula One. So I'm sure Sector 1 will be quite fun, but also quite difficult for all of us in terms of our neck and in the race. So, and also, to do one lap qualifying will be pretty interesting to see that feeling. And I'm sure Lance knows already the track, but definitely is a different car, so I think it will be quite nice for him to drive the car this year.
Thank you, Felipe. Well, coming on to Lance. Lance, there clearly is a good dynamic between yourself and Felipe, and there's a lot of speculation about who your teammate is going to be next year. Do you have a preference?
Yeah, we've had a really good relationship this year, and I think we've done a good job to help the team score as many points as possible between the both of us. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the team who decides who are the drivers. And I've just got to focus on what I'm doing. But definitely we have had a good relationship this year.
Is there one particular thing that you've learnt off Felipe this year?
Many.
That's it.
But we don't say, yeah?
No,
That's it.
no, it's between the two of us. No, I mean, all in all, he just brings a lot of experience to the team, and I've been able to use him as a benchmark throughout my rookie season. So he's really helped develop the car in many ways with these new regulations, and as well, I think I've been able to pick up a few details along the way of what he does, what I could apply into my work at the track. So all in all, yeah, there's definitely been a lot of things that I've picked up throughout the year.
And you've now scored points in 6 of the last 9 races. You're looking very assured in the car. How much more confident are you now compared to Melbourne at the start of the year?
I'm a different driver now to where I was in Melbourne at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I mean, it's just experience that you soak up through the year, and every race there's always something that I think I could do better. So I just feel that I'm getting better every single race, and yeah, that's just experience and time in the car.
Thank you, Lance, and Daniel, thank you for waiting. Daniel, can we just start by talking about what you've been up to since the Malaysian Grand Prix last weekend? Have you been having fun in the land of the rising sun?
Can be a dark place. Yeah. The sun doesn't always rise. It can get emotional in Tokyo. But no, it's been okay. A more positive experience in the last few days was with actually this man here. We went to this the famous sushi. I'm going to get it wrong now. Sukiyabashi Jiro, I think Sukiyabashi Jiro. And yeah, so that it kind of became more on the map to, let's say, the Western world after there was a documentary, Jiro Dreams of Sushi. And yeah, I was told about it a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, I'll just call and get a reservation for tomorrow night, but you got to book like a year in advance. So 2 years later, we finally made it, and it was good. It was a good experience. Yeah, but yeah, well, anyway. But otherwise, what else? We did...
It was good to see his face when some fish that he's not really keen to have.
Yeah, I only started eating seafood a few years ago, like properly, like raw fish. So I love some of it, but some is still new to me. So, but you don't want to disrespect either.
It was no salmon.
No, yeah, it was. There's some different stuff, but anyway, it was a good experience for sure. And you're in and out in 30 minutes, so it's like bang, bang, bang. But it was good. I did some kendo as well, so a Japanese martial art. That was quite cool. And yeah, I enjoyed that. So some 2 good experiences this week.
Okay, you've been having a good time. Thank you for that. Well, let's just cast our minds back to the race last Sunday. And can you just describe your emotions on Sunday night? Because on the one hand, you'd scored your 8th podium of the year, but was there a sense of what if? What if, for example, you'd got past Bottas sooner? What might have been possible?
I mean, I guess there was a small what if. You know, if I'd got Bottas, or if he hadn't got me on the start, I guess, then I think my chances of, you know, having a battle with Lewis would have been higher. But yeah, I still didn't look back on the race like, oh, it was a missed opportunity. I still felt like after the race, I thought the start, I was like, if I only went to the outside, then I could have braked later and held my position. But I think if I pulled out early of Max's slipstream to the outside, I think Bottas would have probably just gone through the middle of us. So yeah, in hindsight, it would have been difficult probably to do anything better on the start. But yeah, I was still happy. Another podium. Although I won there last year, it's actually never really been a track I've I wouldn't say enjoyed, but had much success on. So to finish the podium there on the last year, I was going to take that, so that was okay.
Well, the car has been competitive on 3 very different tracks now, Monza, Singapore, Malaysia. Would you agree with Helmut Marko in that it is now the best chassis in Formula One?
We have to be close. If it's not, then we're certainly close, and a lot closer than we were, the first handful of races this year. So, we like Monza, you get to, you surprise yourself on Sunday, but then in Singapore, then Seb puts, a few tenths in us in quali. So you kind of you're like, oh, we do and then we don't, and we do and we don't. But obviously Malaysia were quick. I think if Ferrari started at the front, they would have been tough to beat. But we're certainly close. If we're not the best, we're certainly close. And I think this circuit is another chance for us to show that. And I'm looking forward to it very much.
Great stuff. Well, let's open this to the floor now. Please remember to give your name and publication. First question, please. We have a question at the front.
Dieter Renken, Racing Lines. Daniel, Dr. Marko has been quoted this week as saying that you're already on the market. Could you elaborate on that? Are you aware of that? Have you discussed anything with them? And what does your future look like within the Red Bull family?
The only thing I'm aware of, is obviously my contract with them is at an end next year. So I guess he's referencing to that. He's not referencing to next year, I guess. Yeah. I'm 100%, well, 99.909% sure I've got a seat with Red Bull Racing next year. I guess he's talking about beyond that. Nothing's been said between us beyond next year. So I guess he's probably more stating facts than, I don't think he has a plan yet beyond 18. I should be racing next year. He wasn't too disappointed after Malaysia. I think he was okay, so I think I'm still okay.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Heikki Kulta, Turun Sanomat. Daniel, in the beginning of the year... No, I have to do it with you. In the beginning of the season, you were not that close to Valtteri's pace, but in the last 4 races, you have overtaken him twice and beaten him 3 times. Are you surprised of this change?
I think we've been getting stronger. So we have been able to compete more regularly now with Mercedes, and since the summer break, he hasn't really had many good, performances, compared to Lewis at least. So I think it's a combination. Maybe hasn't performed at his best the last few races, and we have got better. So it's given us a chance to steal some points from him. Obviously my chance of winning the title is very, very, very little, but there's still a small chance at least to maybe get top 3 again. Valtteri still has a good gap, but if I can keep closing on this, then I'll be pretty satisfied.
Thank you. Next question.
David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Daniel, Red Bull are really good at developing through a season and getting better and better, as you just said. From your perspective, isn't it about time they stopped developing through the season and actually started developing in the winter and gave you a car to win a championship from the outset? And if that doesn't happen next year, is that make or break for you with the team?
It's certainly our plan. It has been, obviously. I still don't really know why, the last few years we've had slow starts and then found a way to come back. So I guess the idea is, again, what we learn, because there's not many changes next year, what we learn from this year, hopefully we take to next year and we start stronger. That's obviously the plan. That's everyone's wish. I guess we go from there. For sure, if next year's not a very competitive season at all, then of course that will then, be addressed. But at least, again, I feel I say it every time this year, but where we are now, you'd think that next year we should be competitive. Hopefully as competitive as you know, I would like to see. So, yeah. Mercedes has been winning for too long, so we'll try and change that.
Thank you.
Arigato.
Next question.
Abhishek Takle from Midday. Question to Felipe. It's been reported that Williams are going to be evaluating Paul di Resta and Robert Kubica, for next year. Knowing that, how does that factor into your plans for the future? Thank you.
I think it doesn't change anything for me. So, it doesn't change anything for me. So I think Williams know 100% what I can give to the team. And even if you do a test with the cars that is 4 years before, completely different, you cannot evaluate too much as well. So it doesn't change anything for me, to be honest.
Felipe, will you attend that test?
No, no. I don't know.
Next question, please.
I don't know even if it's true, the test or not. So I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
Okay, next question, please.
Peter Rankin, Racing Lines. Lance, on the topic that Felipe has just mentioned about a 4-year-old car, you've done a lot of testing with a 4-year-old car, and you're obviously driving the current car. What comparison is there between the two? Do you believe that one could really evaluate a driver that way?
Oh, the cars we drive today are really quick. Back then, in 14, the cars were, I believe it was the first year with the new regulations, so there's been a lot of development. Obviously the rules have changed this year, so a lot more downforce, different tires and all that, so they are very different. Yeah, we'll see what the team thinks about it. I mean, it's not up to me to decide whether it's a good evaluation or not.
Okay, next question. Any more questions? Okay, that's it for now. Thank you, gentlemen.